welcome back to the podcast.
Hi, thank you.
I am so happy to have you. You were one of our first guests. It'll be 2 years. We've been on 2 years, July 7th. And you were,
Wow.
I forget, you were like one of the first 10 episodes.
Yeah.
And I'm so excited to catch up because when we talked 2 years ago, almost, we were just coming out of COVID. So it was kind of that what happened. And now we're like, fast forward, we're out of that
Yep.
and we're in. And I just can't wait to talk to you. How are you?
I'm doing great. Happy to be here. So honored and excited to catch up.
I was telling you off camera that you were just in the desert and I saw you post and it was 100 degrees and I was so jealous because
Oh,
I mean, by the time everyone hears this, we will be in dead summer, but for those of us who live in California, it has been nonstop, like longer, cloudier and colder than usual.
yeah, we started cold weather in April and then it goes to May gray and then June gloom and we can't seem to break it.
I think I said to my girlfriend today, it's going to happen though. It's like all of a sudden it's going to break and then it's going to be 100 degrees every
Yeah,
day. And then we're all going to be complaining about that.
right, right. We can't complain now.
No, we can't. So talk to me a little bit about when we left off, you were at 10 stores.
Yeah.
You are working on a new project. I don't know if you can talk about that yet.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm so excited. Okay, bring us up to speed with the 10 stores and how they're doing. And have you changed any of the way that you are buying or merchandising than you were 2 years ago?
Well, okay, so we had 10 stores 10 years ago, or 10 years ago, 2 years ago.
Wow.
Feels like 10, 2 years ago. And we ended up closing one of them, the Perfect Pineapple.
Oh,
Yeah, the lease was up and I'm all about like, cut the dead weight. Like
mm,
you can't just because you love something and maybe you put a ton of money into the space, sometimes it's just you got to let things go, and staffing is still sort of an issue. And
is it?
so oh yeah, it's just it's starting to turn around a little bit, but it's still kind of an issue. So we closed the Perfect Pineapple just a month ago, actually.
Oh,
Um, but we do have a new store that we are working on right now, and I'm excited to say it is called Beach City. It is a modern twist to a classic surf shop.
mm.
Um, and it's going to be at Seaport Village. It's actually going to be right down the row from our San Diego Surf Company.
Oh,
Um, yeah, so we're pulling all of our it's going to be, I hate saying high end because it's not like, hundreds of dollars, but we
yeah.
are putting our more modern, high end brands in there, more artistic brands. But the best part is, it is Cooper, my youngest son's project. It is his,
Really?
yeah, it's his
Wow.
concept. Yep, his concept. He's done everything from the logo. He's ordered the bags in China. He has a China contact. He's just amazing. So this is his concept. We're just helping him do
Is
it.
this the same son that did the hat line?
Yes, and the Malka bracelets, which he is now going to start wholesaling. Yeah, he's
Wow.
20. He's going to be finishing his sophomore year at Santa Clara. Yeah.
That's insane, Annie. Oh my God. You must be so proud.
So proud. And what's really cool, um, so the company that makes all of the Vuori fixtures and wall units, everything, they're doing all of our build out.
Oh my God,
So
it's gonna be beautiful.
yeah, really excited. So,
What's the scheduled opening?
oh, believe it or not, soft opening 4th of July weekend, because it is the busiest weekend at Seaport Village. So
Wow.
that's really going to be pushing it. But if I have to set up a table out front, I'll set up a table out front because we're opening 4th of July
God
weekend.
damn it, we are opening.
Yeah, it's
How,
happening.
what's the ETA for to work with that brand for Viore for fixturing? Because they do all the build out, correct?
Yeah. So
Fabricating.
that company, which is actually based in San Diego, that's actually funny enough, Cooper found that brand because the company that's doing it, it's called Rich Limited.
Mm.
And he found them because he was looking for someone to make a spinner for his Malka bracelets. he found them. They're like, oh, this is cool. We also do all the stuff for Vuori. And then now fast forward, we went back to them and said, we're small beans, but if we could get a quote, if you guys have the time, we would love to work with you guys. We love Vuori's fixtures. We love the whole way the stores look. It's really the feel that Cooper wants for Beach City. Very simple, clean lines, bright, and then we're going to pull all we did just get Patagonia.
Oh
which
my God, I love that
really, that
line.
took 2 years to get.
Wow.
So
Why did it take so long? I mean, I know they're very particular, but
Yeah.
because you have 10 stores, like what was it? It's obviously zip code protected. Like what were some of the other hoops?
They don't need to open any new stores. So
Oh.
they're super duper particular. It was just a very long process. Eventually if you get somebody to come out, they interview you, they look at all your stores, they take pictures, they go back. There's 6 different people that they have to go to about each different thing, while the whole time they're telling you, okay, this doesn't mean anything, but here's going to be the dealer application we need you to fill out. And it's not like a regular dealer application. It's like, how do you give back? What
Love
do you,
that.
it was easy to say, I mean, this company is just so great. I love the company personally. We love them as a family. So, so that was.
What are your charity organizations, if you don't mind me asking?
What we do, we work very closely with local fire stations, local schools. So what we like to do, and also like the brands, like Pura Vida has come to us to help local schools where, we do backpacks and we get everybody, the locals love to give back. And so we try to incorporate our locals when we're giving back as well. I like to give back to the local schools. We did just do collect stuffed animals for our local fire stations as well. They like to have a stuffed animal when, if they arrive on scene and there's a child there to comfort the child. And, so Jellycat, thank you, Jellycat, rock stars, they gave a bunch. So
wow, that's great.
Yeah, that was really special. So
I love Jellycat. So tell me a little bit about you. Okay, so I think no, you did not have the goats when we last talked. So I have to say, like, part of what I love watching your Instagram. Well, one, it's like I said on your last podcast, is you're like the epitome of positivity and happiness. And you got Dottie and what's the other one?
Dottie and Pearl.
Dottie and Pearl. And you must have a massive backyard to be able to have Dottie and Pearl back there, because they look as if they have their own massive area. It's not a little area.
Yeah. So since we did our last fun podcast, we sold our house.
Oh,
we sold. We weren't planning on selling, but it was when the market was banana boats. And so it was like, someone was like, we want your house. And we're like, okay, but where are we going to go? And so we ended up moving. We have nearly 2 acres now.
oh, that's amazing.
Yeah. So I can do all the lizarding I want on a whole bunch of property.
You have to tell everyone about the lizarding, because for those so to bring you up to where we're at, we just had our 100th episode 2 Wednesdays ago. We are now, I think we're at about 26,000 downloads. And every week I get a report to see what everyone's watching and listening to. And it's obviously the week's episode are hitting the highest marks. And then they give me numbers for the 2 highest. And so I know a lot of people are jumping in now or within the last, I don't think everyone's going all the way back. Like we have to talk a little bit about the lizarding, because I always ask, like, how do you get inspired, or how do you deal with stress? And you have to tell people, because now I find myself, I don't call it lizarding, but I realize
call it earthing.
Going out. You tell the story.
Okay. So I love to go outside, and how I sort of decompress. I go outside on a sunny day, so I'm waiting for that day. And I just like basically sit on the ground, the warm concrete, and just like a lizard, I just sort of lay there and absorb all the sun and just kind of earth, they would call it now, I suppose, but I like lizarding better. But
I
yeah,
agree.
so now I lizard with my goats, actually.
Are you further inland since you've got bigger
Yeah.
piece of property? So is it sunnier there then? Are you at least getting
Um,
some sun versus everyone at the beach?
no, because we're like, I would say 10 minutes from the beach, but we still get that coastal eddy, just won't break. So yeah, so last year I would lizard all the time with my goats, but and actually I read with them also, which they love. So
Read to them or with
to
them?
them or read with them. I'll read out loud to them and they just lay down and they're really just like little dogs.
They're so cute. Like that's one thing I had donkeys when I lived on Fred Siegel's
Oh, I love
ranch.
it.
Oh my God. Well, you're in San Diego. So San Diego does they round up all the wild donkeys from, the area, and then they bring them. We got them because our friend Sherman, who had a animal rescue, had
Oh,
gotten a couple of them, and she's like, "Do you want them?" And we were at that point living on Fred Siegel's ranch, which he had like 375 acres. It was
oh my
nuts.
gosh.
So our little trailer was
Yeah.
on the piece of property where all the animals were. So I had 3 pigs, pork chop, pork chop, Hampton, and Cinderella.
Oh my
And
God.
pork chop was the only small one. Cinderella and Hampton were like massive. And then the 2 donkeys, Elliot and Anthony. And
Oh my
they
God.
were the sweetest until like they finally, because they're wild and it's like they're
Yeah.
not fans of being kept up in, but luckily they had a really big pen. But I miss having animals so much. I mean, I have 3 dogs, but like Elisa has chickens, like you
Yeah.
have goats. I'm like, I want
Yeah.
animals.
Yeah. We've got 3 chickens also. And I never, ever in my whole life thought that I would know so much about chickens. Like I just had been checking on one. I've got a chicken named Tandoori. So Tandoori chicken.
That's right. You've got the good names.
Yeah, and then Cadbury, because she lays blue eggs, and Daisy, and one of them wouldn't come out of the nesting box. And I was like, what on earth? So I just learned all about brooding. So she was basically laying on eggs, waiting for them to hatch. But they're never
Oh,
going to hatch because they're not fertilized eggs. So I felt so bad. So I have to take her down and take her down. Otherwise, she won't eat or drink
oh, I didn't
or go
even
to the
think that
bathroom.
chickens did that. I don't think Elisa's had that issue yet. She
Yeah.
she just got 2 pullets. And so she
Oh,
has the Golden Girls. She has
oh,
Dorothy, and then the new pullets names are Laverne and Shirley.
oh my God. Now she needs a Lenny and Squiggy.
It's hilarious to watch my best friend who has been beach girl like me
Yeah.
forever. Now she even says like, "Who am I? Like, I've got to go to the feed store now." I'm like,
That's what I always find I'm saying to people like, oh, I've got to, I need to go muck the goats. And I'm like, what? And my girlfriends are like, words I never thought I would hear Annie say in my whole life.
exactly.
I've got to
So
go muck the goats.
bring us up to speed a little bit about, because the one thing I mean, you really are the epitome of positivity, and in the worst of when we were in COVID, because I first met you, we did a live and you were still so positive, and then had you back on the podcast. And that's one thing, like in the worst of the worst times, you still had something positive to say. And it's like, I I'm so blown away by that. Like I wish so bad I could emulate some of that, because everybody gets down and everyone gets upset or pissed off, and you always just have this like sunshine.
Oh, well, I mean, it's how you get through, right? I mean, we can't mope about something that cannot be, we can't fix, right? So we just have to move forward and stay positive. It's just, what's the alternative?
Moping.
Listen, I yell and scream, but yeah, it works for me that I just have to find that silver lining, and like I said back then, that silver lining of COVID for me was my kids were home and I got to hang out with them and they got to hang out with each other. And so that was, I just always tell the boys, find a silver lining. I promise you there will always be a silver lining. It might be hard to find in that moment, like the day we had to shut 10 stores down and furlough 60 employees. How do you find that silver lining? You don't find it then. It comes with time,
Your oldest son is in Japan.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
is he doing?
He's doing great. We spent 2 weeks there not too long ago, a few months ago, and he's doing awesome. And he will be back probably in a year and a half. I think he's got about another year and a half
For
on
good.
his
Oh, because you can only work there for X amount of time
like
on a
1 to 5 year, yeah, 1 to 5 year contract. So he got to decide how long he wants to stay, and I think he's going to do like for total of 3.5, 4 years. So can't wait. He's going to be back next week for a little
Oh my
vacay.
gosh.
I know.
Mom is so happy. Your boys are like your life. I love that. And it's
They're
like I love watching you go on, but you all go on vacations together, and your youngest son and the two of you are who went back to Japan, right? Did your husband
Yeah.
go?
Yeah.
Oh, all of you went. Your
We all
husband
went.
never in social media.
No, he hates it. Hates it. Just keep him out.
It's like, no, thank you. So tell everyone a little bit about, because for those of you who have not heard, Annie, as she said, has 10 stores and they're all in the San Diego district, and they all, I love the lifestyle aspect of it, but tell everyone a little bit about the difference between the 10 and how many of each of those concepts that you have.
Right. So we have American Nostalgia, which is what we started with. We started with a kiosk in 1994, and then it eventually evolved into a store. And then we've got San Diego Surf Company, which is our #1 store. So it's all the typical surf brands, no hard goods. We've got one of those and one American Nostalgia. And then we started Urban Girl Accessories, because we like to fill niches in places that need a niche to be filled. So Seaport Village was really lacking in a gift shop that wasn't tourist. I hate to say tacky touristy, but
Yes.
tacky touristy.
Yeah.
So I just felt like there was so much possibility there to have really great gifts that I would want to buy for myself, clothing I'd want to buy for myself, and would make a great gift to take back to girlfriends. So we have 3 of those locations at Seaport, one over in Del Mar on the beach, and then one inland. So we deal with locals and tourists for that store. And then we've got Urban Beach House, which is basically men's and women's surf brands, no hard goods, but all of the surf brands you can think of. And those are also, down at Seaport, over at the beach, and locally in Carmel Valley. And then we've got, what else do we have?
That's 8 so far. You have 2
okay.
more.
So we've got
well, you
3
closed Perfect Pineapple.
Closed Perfect Pineapple.
That's 9.
So 3 Urban Girls, 3 Beach House, 1 Surf Co, 1 American Nostalgia. That should do it. And then 1 new one coming. So
was Perfect Pineapple in that beautiful open complex, or is that another one?
Oh, that's one Paseo. It was in a more of a local district where there's like a Trader Joe's, there's an Urban Girl, there's all the food places.
Okay.
And then the Perfect Pineapple. Yeah, whoever, that store is now turnkey for somebody who would like to go in and open something in that space.
Wow.
Yeah, that one hurt a little bit, but
everything happens for a reason, like you said. What I've realized, and I don't fight it anymore, is if something happens, like the why, like now I just tend to say it means something else is coming, something else is opening up. Like I even with work, I have to do that. Like if I'm not working for a client anymore, it's like, all right, I gotta trust the universe, and I gotta assume that this means something else is opening up, and it usually always does.
Well, I always say when one door closes, another one opens. And literally for this one, it was when Perfect Pineapple door closed was like the same day they started gutting Beach City. And I was like, this is good. It was almost like the same day we got the keys, it was like,
Wow.
oh my God, okay, that's why that closed, because we needed more time, more employees for this over here. And then in the interim, we are going to start selling our San Diego Surf Co. some items. We were asked by you probably know how there's all the companies that deal with the airports.
Mhm.
So all the companies that sell t-shirts, there were 3 of them. I guess they were doing like a bid to the airport authority. They all wanted San Diego Surf Company. So we went with one. And so we just got our first order for that. So we'll be at the San Diego
Wow.
Airport Terminal 1 and Terminal 2.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Yeah.
You also started 3-6 or 9-6.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yes.
Wow, Mom.
92067 Mercantile.
No, okay, so that's not this. I mean, I've been watching this and I'm dying for that orange candle. But you all of a sudden it started showing up like, the zip code. Is it a zip code pillow or is it the
Yeah, we had
the whatever number you call it for?
Yeah, we had the 92067. That's basically the zip code where I live. And there are no stores, there's nothing. But it's also not a great place to open a brick and mortar. So I thought, well, I'll just make an online thing and see how it goes. And then I'll incorporate other zip code stuff. And then people, oh, but you have this, and oh, does Urban Girl have a website? And I had kind of merged them. And so I was like, okay, well, I'll just do a little bit of Urban Girl stuff and then 92067 stuff as well. And now it's like 92130 stuff. So it's just sort of a melange of things, but
It's really
fun.
well curated though. I mean,
Thank you.
everything from the longitude is the word I was trying to. Is
Yeah.
it longitude? Dish
Longitude.
towels, longitude, and then you've got the pillows and but the logo's gorgeous with the
Thank
orange
you.
But I mean, it's really well curated. And
Thank you.
I was like trying to find. I'm like, is this a store now? Is this? And then reading more, it sounded like it was on the website.
Web only. No time to do another store. And also, essentially there isn't anywhere really to do it in 92067. And so this is kind of just like a fun thing for in my spare time to do.
Which I don't even know what 10 stores. So tell me how you balance 10 stores, because now that they're all back in motion, they're all moving again, they're all staffed. What does a day in a life look for you with 10 stores?
It is a balancing act where, Chris goes to we also have an office now in Solana Beach, which is where I am right now. So on Tuesdays, we do a lot of our buy meetings here. So everybody will bring all their lines. They'll show us all the lines. We have our general manager, Alexis. She comes up here. She's also part buyer for a lot of the stores. So we kind of brainstorm on Tuesdays, get together, see lines. Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, it's just going to the stores, merchandising, seeing what they need. It's a lot of email. And then, looking for new stuff. And I don't know, it flows. Seems to work. I don't know. You can't do it without good employees, right?
But I do for when I say like a typical do you get up, do you have a practice, like a gratitude practice? Do you and then you have coffee? I mean, because I'll be honest, like when you look like you have the most balanced life. I mean, you're out there with the goats, and it does not look like a frenetic, I have 10 stores, I need to go, what you'd assume that it would look like.
Right. Yeah, it is true. It's not it doesn't feel super stressful. I mean, at the end of the day, feels a little bit like you're trying to tie up all the loose ends in the emails, but my day basically starts out, I, get up at like 6, coffee, vitamins, water, all the collagen, all the things you're supposed to do. And then I usually get on the computer and start returning emails and start looking at Instagram, instantly to see like, what am I missing? What's out there? What, to repost, because I do the Instagramming for the stores. So it's like trying to get that done, then get ready, then go to the stores, do some merchandising, check up on everyone, any kind of meetings that need to be had.
So
Always
between you and your husband, you guys are able to hit all 10 of the
we
stores.
do, yeah, we divide and conquer.
Does he merchandise as well, or is somebody else merchandising when he's out there?
He will sometimes merchandise the men's side of some things if needed, but usually everybody does a good job. The brands are really good. The surf brands are really good about having merchandisers that come out.
Oh, that's
And
great. I didn't realize
yeah,
that.
yeah, they all used to have a merchandiser that would go out to the larger accounts. Like I would say our account we are probably for Surfco top 3 in San Diego.
Wow.
Yeah. And so they usually make sure that there's a merchandiser to come out and do their space. And so really it's just like gifts, so watching you, always a great inspiration for merchandising, big time.
Thank you.
What would Michelle do? She would not use a plastic riser. I
Oh my
know.
God. That's gonna be on my grave, I swear. So in Perfect Pineapple, you had foods and you had gifts and so did you take any of those elements from that location and put them in, is any of it in Urban Girl?
Yeah, some of it is, but what's really funny, it's just not selling.
The
It's
food?
sold there. Yeah, it's sold over there. It's, not selling over here because Urban Girl, it's gifts, but not those gifts.
Interesting.
It's so interesting. Like I have all the fun wine glasses and just, the Noble Mix little packets of the individual little margaritas
Yeah.
mixes. I love, love. I have a huge spinner of them. I mean, I think those with a glass and like a little bottle of tequila. Oh my
Yeah.
God, what a great gift. No, no, a pineapple
Oh,
blew out, blew out. So
that's so weird. So it's not like you could just go to the show and like when I had Sweet XO, we had 5 locations at the end of the day. And for the most part, with the exception of one store, I could just write one PO and write it across the
oh
board
yeah,
for
no,
everybody. So you
no.
have to go, do you have to write totally different
Yes.
POs and totally different SKUs for, each store?
Every single Urban Girl, the orders are different. Every single beach house, the orders are different. And Surfco is another whole separate entity, and then Beach City is it will be a whole other entity. So yeah,
Oh my
it's,
God.
yeah, that's why I've got Alexis. She helps a lot. She's been with us. She's, I think, 35 now. She's been with us since she was 18. So she started as a retail sales and then has just sort of worked her way up. And now she's like head buyer besides me and then general manager of everything. Yeah. Yeah.
That's
So
incredible to hear that she's been that. That's the one thing. It's like a lot of people complain about employees not being able to retain them, but for those who keep them and that keep them for a long time, like what is the secret? Because that people are asking that.
you know what? It's funny. It's really the little things. Like I'm actually really trying to take this in and working side by side with her. I'm hearing like just saying, thank you so much for, doing that. I really appreciate that.
Mhm.
And to hear her say, like, I really appreciate you saying thank you. I think so many times, like, people forget to take a minute and just thank the people that are basically running our businesses for us. Because obviously, Chris and I are not there all the time. I mean, we were just in Palm Springs, so it's like, just say thank you. We keep a stack of $5 Starbucks gift cards on hand. And if we hear, hey, somebody went above and beyond, we'll just thank you, and
Right.
a $5 gift card has made some of our employees cry. They're so
Oh,
like that. It's like to us, $5 maybe not a big deal. to someone who is like living paycheck to paycheck and really they're young, right? Rent is not cheap. A $5 gift card, a $10 gift card to Starbucks is $10 of groceries or gas for them.
Yeah.
And now they can get this special Starbucks drink they love that they haven't wanted to get because it's $5.
Yeah.
So yeah, just little things. We take them out to dinner. We do dinners.
Do you do big team events? Like,
We
how do you
do
keep everybody motivated?
hard.
Is it through commissions? Is it through, events like the, employee events or?
Our own managers have come up with some pretty cool, this is a great idea, actually. Our San Diego Surf Co-manager came up with, because down at Seaport, we deal with so many tourists. She decided that for her team, she was gonna do a map, and whoever, to encourage her staff to talk to people. Hey, where are you visiting from? You got to then, if you get a state, you color it in with your color crayon for, your color on the map. Whoever got all the states won a prize, and we gave them the prize, and it was like a $50 gift card or something somewhere. But it was like brilliant because you're encouraging your staff to talk to you, which is always never easy. And then there's an incentive at the end, because commission doesn't really work for us, like, because the register doesn't, everybody would be hovering at the register to ring in, right?
Yeah. And then there's those little fights of like, well, I said hi to them for, we had that at our store. Like, I said hi to them first. And it's like, yes, you said hi, but so-and-so walked them to the fitting room and did the whole sales with them and pulled them extra sizes. Like,
and then it's awkward for the customer too. They're like, I don't remember, it was the girl in the white. And then as a customer, you're like, I hope I get, oh my God, like then it's on the customer for making the right decision to say that the right person who helped them. It's just awkward. I don't dig that. I'd rather just give them a bonus, every 6 months or something, or a gift card. Last year we gave all the managers a pretty big gift card to a local resort that was driving to a little casino resort with like a lazy river pool. And we thought, well, here's $350 gift card, you can go to dinner, you can stay the night. It was like, you could $150 room, you could stay the night and get a massage, use the spa, however you want to do it. Thank you. That's for you,
That's a great gift. What a great idea. Instead of giving somebody, cash is great, but I love the fact that it was intentional of like, where you're going to go. You had include like the room, you knew how much the room was going to be. And then the rest of it is however you want to spend it.
Yeah, exactly. You want to spend it all in the steak house? Go eat steak till you can't eat steak anymore. So
I have a question, because I am all of a sudden working with 2 regional stores, and obviously it's all tourists. Like, you're not going to have the same customer. What's your philosophy for merchandising a store that it's very rarely you're going to see the same person, which when I re-merchandise, it's always obviously because the same customers coming in and you want things. So what's your philosophy on merchandising a regional store in a tourism?
It does make it easier, right? Because like our local stores, where every week you've got to change it, and then twice a year you got to reset it. For the tourist shops, it's very easy. You just pretty much set up, your California table over here, your city table, you make sure you've got all the Cat Studios stuff. But it's, we do our kids' little area because tourists are out of town. Maybe their kids are at home, so they love buying Jellycats. So we have Jellycats actually everywhere. Jellycats have exploded into the store, but there's so many cute ones, right, that they can tie in with different things now. And so, not much thought really goes into the displays there. It's just so easy to do.
Do you do turns ever, or is it just like set it and forget it and just
we'll
plug in new merchandise?
Yeah, we just kind of plug in new merchandise. If we get something in where we get a ton of it, then we usually have to take, like we just got Aloha, right? So, and a ton of it. So we had to reset that entire wall. So we do have to reset walls probably more often than most people because of the surf brands. You know, Urban Girl has a wall that is nothing but Roxy. So when we get a new delivery of Roxy, that whole thing comes down, brand new goes up. You know, if we have an allocated space for Aloha, but this delivery was bigger, so we had to move
What does
Viore.
bigger look like? I have to ask you that.
It's big. It's like I'm terrible with math. It's just a big wall, huge wall.
But like
I
a
don't know.
pallet, like how many boxes can you use? How many, like
Boxes.
how, like you say big, so, and you have big stores, so it's like, what does
Oh,
big look
I
like?
mean, we do get pallets of things, but I would say it's like 5 large boxes of Aloha. So it's not,
Aloha's like little tiny bags.
yeah, so it's just
Bigger.
a lot of
Oh my
things.
God.
But yeah, so it's just, you know, we do reset walls, I guess, more often because of the brands. Like Viore, whenever a new season that comes, you know, we usually have to expand it, and yeah.
What's your philosophy? Because I don't know if I asked you this last time, your philosophy on merchandising and how often because you just touched on resetting the store. And so what's your philosophy on merchandising, and how often do you do like the big, like we're going to overturn the whole, because I mean, you have built-in fixturing, so you can't like, we're going to move Hurley over here and vice versa.
Right,
What does
right.
that look like?
Well, I know ideally, God, I would love to reset like every couple of months. That would be my dream, but I would say we probably only do it once a year, like the big reset,
Mm.
like new displays and, you know, figuring out what we're not going to carry anymore, what we're going to get more of, and then, you know, doing that. But I like to do with every season, right? Or with every holiday or graduation, you've got Mother's Day. There's always a front table that turns, almost like I like to do that every week. Or whenever there's, you know, like we just had graduation is happening right
Yeah.
now. So, and then we had Mother's Day before that. Now we've got Father's Day coming up. So everything will be, you know, as much father's dad stuff as we can find.
Like the last holiday of the season. I keep telling everyone, get it in, because it's like after that. I mean, you have 4th of July, so it's a big
Yeah.
one for you guys, but for most
Yeah.
retailers, like this is the last giving holiday
Yeah.
until it starts all over again for holiday. Oh
Yeah,
God.
it's
Tell you
so
that, tell you that.
crazy.
How do you do communication? Because with 10 stores, do you have like, because like Anthro, because all these questions I had, I forgot to ask you, or wasn't thinking clearly last time. But at Anthro, we got a weekly packet that went over everything from this is what's coming in, these are the big changes, here's your sales reports. Like, what does your communication for your 10 stores look like?
We basically, all the managers will get whatever invoices, order your copies that we've just gotten. Then Alexis and I will talk about how we think it would be best to merchandise. You know, if I've been scrolling and I've seen, or I've watched like what you've done with Jellycats, or then we kind of talk about it, shoot out the emails, then I'll go around, make sure, do my touches, make sure they've done it right. And oftentimes they do it so well. I think sometimes people don't realize that they can merchandise until you let them try.
Mm.
I have been so impressed with my staff that's nervous to do it. And then all of a sudden I walk in, I'm like, who did this? This is unbelievable. Unbelievable. So always give people a chance to try. I really believe in that. But yeah, and then we just kind of go around, and then the email will go out saying, okay, with a photo, let's say one of the managers that merchandise this wall, just absolutely unbelievable photo. Hey guys, here's some inspiration.
Love
And
that.
yeah, and I'll be in this week if you need any help with it, but just try your best and let's see what you got.
Have you ever walked into, because I remember, I can't say that I remember this is it Sweet XO, but I remember in the middle of some of our workshops at Anthro where it was like you start taking, for those who haven't done big shifts, and now I have a very specific way I do it. Like I take everything out that we're not using and what we are, that way it's a little bit more control. But I remember in the beginning, just like taking everything out, and then all of a sudden it was like, oh shit, what have I done? I'm like, oh my, and then it's like what I fondly call panic merchandising, because we are leaving the store and the store has to be put together.
Yeah.
And I remember being like, there must have been afternoons where we get in there at 4:35 in the morning, and it'd be like 5 o'clock at night, and I was like, oh my god, I'm still trying to pack it in. Like, have you walked into that situation ever?
Yeah. We're fortunate enough though that we can transfer things. So if I'm like, this just isn't selling here, I have no room for it, this isn't going to go with the theme, transfer it to another
Love
store.
that.
Transfer. I feel like that's like my number one word. Transfer it. Like just transfer. And so because it's weird, you can order something for one store and you could just be like, this is going to be it. This is going to sell. This is going to be I just feel it in my bones. And nothing. Nothing. Like God. And so transfer it, blowout. It's just sometimes you just don't know which store it's going to be, or you assume, Seaport tourists, they're not going to want a heavy candle. And then we just try it down there and everybody buys the heavy candle. And I don't know how they're getting it back on the plane, but they're doing it. So yeah. So it's interesting. There's no rhyme or reason.
I miss having that transfer thing with, because even at Sweet XO, it was like, okay, well, this store sold it out. And it's weird because I'm ADD. I have this weird, I call it like the memory, where like I've gone in everyone's back rooms. I've worked everyone's floors. I was in the stores once a week, and
right.
I could remember, okay, this store, we don't have this. And so let's send it out without any kind of reporting.
Oh my God.
It's just off memory. And what's weird is Erin, who I trained at Bird's Pharmacy, has that same memory. Like she'll be like, oh, we'll be at the shows. Oh, we sold out of that. And I'm like, how do you, like, we have 5 stores. How do you remember this? Like, but being in there, that memory.
Yeah, I can do that too. Like I will just know what's in the back room, what's on the floor. If something's not, I'll know like from day to day, like there were 5 of those, and I'll check sales. Oh, someone's stolen. Great. That's another problem.
Do you have cameras you can go back and see?
We do. We have cameras, but that's good for like, if the police say, can you send us your video footage? But
you do the shaming, blow it up the picture and shame them.
I'm scared to be sued.
I think legally, as long as you have a sign that says you're on camera, but I've gone to stores where, I'm not going to mention who, but they've gone in, thank God for the cameras, because the store is very small, and they literally can go to the camera and pull up the person literally putting it in their purse.
Oh my gosh.
And they've taken a screenshot, blown it up and put it on the front window. I'm like,
oh, on the window.
I don't know if that's legal. And they're like, well, apparently, as long as you have a sign that says that you are filming, that you've been warned. I'm like, that's a crazy tactic, but okay.
No, I know. I bet, the thing is, we have like so many local teenage girls that steal, and
they have money.
Tons of money.
Yeah.
Whose moms probably shop from us and don't know that their kids steal. We shame them in the store while they're in there, like we'll catch them and we'll just say, oh, I know your mom, so I guess I'll call her. Do you want me to call her right now? I don't know her mom. Like,
what do they do?
They panic and they run and they drop everything. But it's like, wow, like, golly, it's just bizarre to me, like that these kids, I just can't wrap my head around the fact that they're so brazen, and they're so wealthy. These kids in these areas.
It's weird. It's like, it almost feels like it's more for a rush and more, it's not because they can't afford it. It's like more like, and like I'm trying to find an LP person to come on here, because that's one thing I realized, like none of my stores know what they legally can and can't do. Like one of my stores chased them down the street. I'm all, you can't do that. Like,
I'm guilty of that. Oh, I get so mad.
I mean, but you know, like if the kid's a minor and the kid tripped and whoever ran after them, it's like, I was like, you realize that they literally could sue you and they will own the store because it's a
Yeah.
minor. And
Oh, yeah.
90% of the kids that are stealing are minors.
It is so true, which is why it's like, you know, you want to like post it on Instagram. Does anyone know this girl?
I see
Well,
that a lot.
yeah, probably a lot of people are going to, or on Nextdoor, right? But you see the backlash on Nextdoor. Oh, don't you have anything better to do than to post a picture of a minor who stole from you? They're not bad people. And you're just like, oh my gosh, okay, never mind.
When it's your money, you talk to me
Yeah,
about
it's like
it.
now,
You're the first person to say someone stole something off your lawn.
yeah, exactly. Or someone's dog pooped on my lawn. Do you know this person? It's like, how is it different?
That's why I'm
Yeah.
not on Nextdoor anymore. I'm like,
Oh, I can't. It's just like, it's so stressful.
I can't even. How do you do? Because again, like I said, like loss prevention, like small boutiques, you don't have, like when we were at Anthro and Z, we had people, we had a
Yeah.
loss person that came in and they did loss prevention training and they do meetings. And like, I still remember one of the smartest things, and I'll always tell my stores this, is that if you see somebody put something in their pocket and you say it's like a pair of pink glasses and you know they put it, is to go up to the person and be like, hi, you know, you would look so good in pink. Let me show you some pink things. Oh my gosh, pink is the best color for you. Where they freak out because they essentially know you have it without you saying you have it, and they'll drop it somewhere in the store. And
Yeah,
but
exactly.
how do you train, you know, 10 stores how to keep your eyes out for loss prevention?
We basically kind of like what you said. I mean, I feel like acknowledging the customer is step one. They
Yes.
know, you know, that they're in that store, and you can get your spidey senses sort of go when they're looking up and looking down, looking up, trying to see if you're watching them. So for somebody like that, we'll say, go over to them, just talk to them. So I like to sweat them out. I'll just stand there and talk to them until they're like, oh my God. And they eventually leave,
Yeah.
especially teenagers. I've even had one group of teenage boys where I was like, oh, how are you? You know, how's your Christmas going? Oh, what school do you go to? Oh, and the one kid goes, we got to go. We're not going to be able to steal anything.
Wow, that's
Oh,
ballsy.
that's really
Thank you for your
ballsy.
honesty.
Yeah, I was like, okay, bye. Don't come
Wow.
back. So, but yeah, just talking, just acknowledging. One of the things that I cannot stand is when I go in a store and nobody says hello and nobody says goodbye. It's the number one thing we
Oh
tell
my
our
God.
staff. That's like it for me. It's like, if you do anything, just say hello, how are you? And goodbye, have a great day.
Yeah.
That way they know you acknowledge them. You just want to be acknowledged as a customer. You don't want to be, you know, have someone standing over you constantly, unless of course you're
You're a
trying to
teenage
steal. Yeah, then you're gonna have somebody standing over you. But just, hey, how's it going? You know, or at the touristy shops, hey, where are you visiting from? They will stay longer in the store. It's just, you know, I mean, I will leave a store if the person, as long as they're not busy doing something or helping another customer, but even then you can look up and say, hey, how's it going? You know, let me know if I can
Thank
help you
you.
with anything.
Yes,
So,
I have been, and there are stores, like I said this on the podcast a couple weeks ago. I don't think it's come out yet, but where there's a store that is selling Spell the Gypsy dresses that are, if you know Spell the Gypsy, are $300 to $600 a dress.
Yeah.
And the girls, both of them, are behind the register, neither look up, and both like on their phones. And I'm looking around, and it's like looking around. I'm like pulling things. I've got it over my arm. Still, no,
Oh
not
my
one
gosh.
acknowledgement. And I was like, fuck this. I just like,
Right.
it's like, I wish sometimes that owners, because you don't have to be in your stores all the time. You don't, and you can have a
Right.
team, but please go at least have somebody shop your stores, because like
Yeah.
that is happening all the time. And it's like, it is, I mean, it's your business. It's
Yeah.
your name on it. They are representing you. And when they don't acknowledge a customer or even show them any kind of friendliness or whatsoever, it's like the worst message.
Yeah. We just did that with our staff because we had a theft. And so we went back and looked at the video. But what struck us more was that our amazing employees were not, they were out walking the floor, which is a really other good thing that you get out from you. The
Behind
cat
counter.
doesn't need to be held up, you know?
Oh my God, I used to say that.
Oh my God. It's like, you know, if you can lean, you can clean.
Thank
Like
you. These old school
stack them
terms.
high, see them fly.
I
I've
got
got
all these
this
old school
in.
terms.
So yeah, so we showed them the video and we're like, what do you see here? And they both kind of went, oh, we're not even saying hello to people that we're walking by. And we said, exactly.
Oh, I love that you show them. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sure it's not like a, oh, what, but I
Yeah.
love that you turned it into a teaching moment.
It was a teaching moment because we originally were looking at the video to see the theft. But what struck us more than even the theft of the jelly cat
Oh,
was the staff not saying anything to anybody. And we're like, there's the learning lesson number one. Had you been talking to them and
yeah.
said, oh, you know, it was a stroller situation where sometimes there are thefts where
Oh,
they
I'm going to tell you a story. You're going to
yeah, they
die.
use their kids as like pawns for theft, you know?
Yeah.
And so she had sort of done that. She gave it to her kid, kept looking, and then played pretend, oh, I didn't know they,
Oh,
oh my God. And then we got a bad Yelp review because she said we accused her of stealing. But
what
she
do
was
you do with that?
stealing.
Like, 'cause, I mean, it's like Yelp won't take it. Like, what do you do as a store? Like, I know some stores, you know, some of it is warranted, but I think there's people that there's trolls out there in social media. There are trolls out there for Yelp, and
Yeah.
they
Yes.
if you look at their profile, every fucking review is some shitty ass like
100%. We definitely respond. We always, you know, like on the Google reviews too, we always respond. Like for Google reviews, it drives me nuts that people do reviews just to get points or something, or words or something. They get some kind of points. And so they'll give us a 1 star with no comment. And we'll respond and say, we're so sorry you had such a horrible experience. Can you tell us what store, what time, what store and what time did this all occur? Because we want to make this right. Crickets, you know, and you're just like, really? Why? You know, or if we actually get somebody who comments, we always respond. But literally, Yelp, I laugh at those because I'm just like, really? Okay. I mean, what can you do? And you can't do anything about it. You know,
no.
we've had people Yelp bad reviews because they broke up. The girl working at the store broke up with him and he's mad at her. So then the Yelp reviews come at us.
Oh my God.
I know it's so trivial and childish, but I would hate Yelp if I was a restaurant though, because that's where most people Yelp the worst things. But yeah, reviews. I mean, we show them to staff. It's a teaching moment, especially if we can find out like, and we go back and look at the video. We always try to give them the benefit of the doubt, go back and look at the video, and then kind of say, okay, this really did happen, or this didn't happen at all, you know,
Oh
and
my
we,
God, I would want to put that in the Yelp. Yeah, just to let you know, we went back on the camera and we
yeah,
didn't see your episode, so we're so sorry.
yeah. And it's funny the amount of people that we say, we're so sorry, you know, this was a bad experience for you. How can we make it? Most of the experience, the bad Yelps are for bad language on Blue Q, oven mitts, you know, and we want what we want to say, and those are like our best sellers.
Yep.
So what we want to say is, what we really want to say is we're so fucking sorry that you didn't like that oven mitt, but that's like number 2 item in our store. So fuck off. But you can't do that.
Everyone knows the story of me and those F-bomb things, and I swear to God, it was the number. This twisted towels were my number one thing.
Oh, twisted wares. Those
Yes.
are the best. Oh, I love those.
Oh my God, they were the number one. And I finally, I mean, I admit I follow, I mean, you know, as a buyer, you follow the sales, and I just went a little too far.
Yeah, yeah. No, we've had someone come in crying, like a grandma come in crying, like this used to be my favorite store.
Oh,
And
that must be like,
I know the girls were like, oh my God, we're so sorry. And then they emailed me, should we do anything about this? I said, no, because
number one.
it's
Number
like
one
we sell
item.
like 30 of those oven mitts a day. It's like in the summer. It's like, I'm sorry, but no. And now we have a huge like marijuana. Do you buy Hi Jimmy?
No.
Oh, you
I've
should.
heard of it.
It's so good. Matt, no, Matt doesn't have it. I think it might be, well, I'll connect you. Do you know? I'll connect you. I'll connect you.
Yeah.
But it's great. It's a line of like marijuana stuff, but the sayings are really funny. The mugs are great. And
Oh,
it crushes it. And the prices are incredible. So I will, yeah, right. It's HIGH. So hi, and then JIMMIE. It's so good.
yeah.
And
Will you connect
it's
me?
awesome. Yes, I will. It's great. Like our reorders, you test it, 4 of this, 4 of that, and now we're like 4 orders deep within like 3 months, and it's 24 of these and 24 of those, and yeah.
Yeah, the weed thing, it's like I did that at Burt's and it sold as well. It just is, it's, I mean, being a pharmacy, a lot of people obviously used it, but the F-bomb stuff was like,
Yeah.
was still just, again, I went a little deep, but, and then it was like, okay, how do we, because we all knew it was the top selling. So then it was
Yeah.
like, okay, how do we, so then we got creative and then we put like a little colored dot on the U.
Oh,
So it
okay.
was like,
Yeah.
still was fuck, but the
Yeah.
U was, but it still was just like, yeah, like,
It's like one of those things. What can you do? It's like, I mean, do you just, if the customer wants to not go in, that's fine. Like, don't come back. They'll come back,
well,
guaranteed.
pharmacy, they were like,
Oh, regulars.
Robbie was like, hey, I know it sells. I know we do a ton of business, but I can't lose a pharmacy customer
Yeah,
for
no,
an
that's,
F-bomb towel. I'm like,
yeah, that
good
I can
point.
see. And then it's almost like it needs to be in an adult only section,
Yeah.
like Fern or something. It's over here,
So dirty.
you know.
Like it's over in the corner. Well, I had Missy from Twisted Yours on
Oh, I heard that
a
one.
while
Yeah.
ago, and she had said, put it behind the counter because people are still going to ask about it. And I was like, that's a good idea. But all I could think about was like, nothing behind the counter. It needs to be on the floor. Like, it needs
Yeah.
to be.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
I have to ask you about markdowns and sale because
Mm.
we all, obviously everybody has merchandise that doesn't sell. You have stores that you can transfer to, but when you have a bomb, like how do you handle sales? How do you handle markdown? What's your philosophy? And at the end of the day, when it's gone down to the very end, what do you do with it then?
So when it goes down to the very end, if it's something really great, we do a little section on a rack that's just ones, like how Nordstrom does last one, and so we try to do that. Before COVID, we really never had to mark anything down. Like the buy was just so spot on. And then after COVID, when things were shipping late and like, especially with surf brands, we were getting 3 deliveries all at once because they were all coming in at once. And some of the
You
brands
didn't
weren't,
cancel anything.
we didn't cancel anything. We just,
You were
did
nice.
yeah, it just didn't seem right. A
Yeah.
lot of the brands were like, you can cancel, but we knew that directly affected our reps and their commission. And they work so hard and that's not fair. And COVID, oh my God. So we just figured, oh, well, we'll just have a lot of stuff. So that kind of knocked us a little bit. We had, 8 trillion flannel shirts from every brand, so what we did, because we can do it, we decided to get another space, and it's just basically a sales store. It's a clearance
Wait,
store.
excuse me.
And I actually forgot about it.
This is another story.
Yeah, we might be up to 11. I don't know. I forgot. So it's our clearance store, and the space itself, it's percentage only. So it's great. So we only pay a percentage on what we sell. If we sell nothing, fine. If we sell a ton, great. Yeah, so we just move all the sales stuff over there.
Is it just racks of stuff, and is it
Yeah.
like, and
There's nothing fancy about it. We got like an IKEA counter put in there, and we got O'Neill had racks. They gave us racks. We bought some racks. So the displays are actually really nice. They're actually really beautiful tables and 4-ways. But yeah, and we just move it all over there. And it's like, I think the whole thing, it's like everything's 50% off. Let's just make this easy.
Thank you. That was my next question. Because I've had a couple people and it's like, starting at 20%, no, that's not gonna do anything.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, it's like,
Just
it's,
get
yeah,
rid
it's
of it.
nice, but it's like, just fucking move it. Like,
Just
the
get
whole
rid of
point
it.
is to get it out of your
Yeah,
store.
get it out of my sight. Yeah.
Wow. So when did the I'm gonna call it off-price place open?
Um, oh, it's like a month, Yeah.
Oh, you've only had it for a month?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
gosh.
It all happened at once. Beach City, all like literally within the same week. So
Wow, you
yeah.
are busy. That's crazy. I love talking to you. I asked you last time of how you get inspired, and I know the lizarding is part of it, but where do you find inspiration for, like, if you want to change things up for displays or for just for yourself and your house and your life, where do you get inspired?
God, I still love Instagram. I don't do really Pinterest because I will go down that rabbit hole and I won't come back out. So, and it's just, you could just sit there forever. So Instagram and travel, God, travel for me, just seeing like being in Japan, right? Like, I'm sure you
Yeah.
remember when you were there, like just seeing what can I bring from what I just saw? How can I incorporate that at home? You know, is it tissue? Is it packaging? Is it
The
how they
paper
do
goods,
ribbon?
I was like
Oh
wild.
my God, the ribbon, so just trying to see what's trending in this town and back to Japan again, it was like floral dresses. They were there before they were here. So it's like, all the beautiful daughters of India and all these beautiful floral dresses, long, beautiful floral dresses, so just, so I would say like travel, Instagram, and then, reading, that inspires me too. But yeah, I would say travel. I think that's the best, especially now. It's so nice to get out and travel.
We went last October to Mexico, to a part of Mexico that we haven't been to, called Trocones, and tiny little surf town. It's typical Mexico. There's poverty. It's like, it's a little storefront, cinder bricks. They open up the door. There's no AC. There's no refrigeration. It's just like, but there was one store there that was so well curated and so well done. And it was like, literally, Annie, there was nothing else. It was a little dirt road. And there was a florist next door, which I was like, what?
Oh.
And then this store that was so magical, and it was all like homemade goods from these girls in Mexico, but so well curated. I mean,
Wow.
I'm embarrassed to say, I think I spent $800 US in there. We went back
You
twice.
made their month.
Dave's like, what are you? I mean, I bought a rug. I mean, the textiles are what I'm
Oh,
crazy about, but I mean, I definitely it was like we pull up and Dave's all, oh, they already see you.
oh my God. Oh, I love that. I love that.
Oh my God. And then my last question for you, because I asked you last time and you had the best piece of advice, but what is your best piece of advice for any entrepreneur or any retail owner or employee?
I have a really good quote that will actually sort of tie in with this. Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. So keep going. Don't, the worst thing that someone can do is say no, big deal. So at least you tried, because the best thing they could say is yes. So that's sort of what we always do, trying to get Patagonia. They could say no, but they said yes, and that could be life-changing, dollar-wise. So just never give up and always smile. I really feel do everything with kindness. If you do everything with kindness, you just can't go wrong.
I adore you. I love talking to you. I wish I saw you more. Thank you
I know.
so much for sharing this time with everybody and all your knowledge and talking about the stores and bringing us up to speed with where you're at 2 years almost from when you did your last podcast with us.
So fun. Thanks for having me. I'll do this anytime. I think we could talk forever.
I mean, seriously, thank you so much.
Oh, thanks, Michelle.
You're welcome.